Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to some more Link to the Past Randomizer Season 5 League. Today, we have a really fun matchup. We've got Daaanty and Andy representing Perfect Unadulterated Gaming Squad. Here to be said PUGS, I'm not saying that for the next hour and a half or so. We have AceZero and Azder representing Shacktool's Ding Game. First match for both teams, so this should be an interesting one. Some really good runners here. My name is Tracy M. With me today is Wolflink. How are you doing, Wolflink?
I'm doing great, and good afternoon, everyone. So we have for you folks the week one of the league here, which is co-op all dungeons. Now, normally in a randomizer seed, the runners are not allowed to gather information other than what they see in front of themselves. But for co-op, they're allowed to communicate with their teammate, and thus you'll see some divergence like this, where they're checking Sanctuary and Link's House at the same time, and they're telling each other what the items are. This could also lead to someone having a lot less health than someone else, but these runners are possibly some of the best runners of Link to the Past, just in general. So that really should not be an issue this time around.
No, I mean, AceZero is my partner in SMC3, and I happen to know that he will dodge heart containers and heart pieces. Looks like he's going to start with a Houlihan. Andy, we have 4 different starts. Andy going into Uncle. Azder's going to do the more traditional... No, wait, no. It's Daaanty doing the traditional one. Azder's going to go for looking for some 50-50 bombs. Is not hitting very many in order to go south to north in Kakariko. Nothing on Aga today, so we won't be... Hopefully, I mean, we have to kill Aga. It's all dungeons, but hopefully we get to do that at the end. Don't have to worry about doing that early.
That's right, and once again, just to clarify anything for anyone who may not be aware, normally the goal is to collect all 7 crystals and then go fight Aghanim 2 to make Ganon appear, or at least his whole appear. In this case, that's not enough. In order for you to actually be able to deal the last bit of damage to him in Phase 4, you need to get all 3 pendants, as well as fight Aghanim 1. Speaking of the pendants, we did see a quick map check earlier. We saw Tower Hero as a crystal, well, one of the red ones, Desert Palace as a green pendant, and blue pendant blue crystal rather over at Eastern Palace, and we see Balmos there for Daaanty.
Yeah, so far the only really interesting items we've seen are that Bombos medallion and the flippers. Mostly the runners kind of gearing up, so to speak. Ace doing a tree pull. I'm gonna check the bush crab. We probably saw that from Daaanty already. Both I missed the race game item, but neither Azder nor Andy is going for it, so I suspect it was nothing.
And I like this here. Both runners on Team PUGS, as it is, are doing Kakariko from the south and from the north, so they'll get done pretty quickly and meet in the middle.
Yeah, we're seeing that. We're going to see that over here from Shacktool as well. They're going to go ahead and Ace is hitting it from the north. Ace just been getting there a little bit slower because he went and did the Houlihan play to make sure that somebody had money for I guess, for Bottle Vendor. Right now, neither Andy nor Daaanty has money for Bottle Vendor. Probably going to be able to get it from the chest. You get 50 free from the pots and the well plus the blind set combined, so...
Yeah, and there was a red ruby there. So in the well, there will be enough money with the pot money there to get it. As is there with the blind side out. But it looks like Andy is opting to buy bombs instead, so not going to check the merchant just yet.
No, he'll probably leave that to Daaanty and hope he doesn't have to worry about it. And the same thing on Shacktool's side. I suspect Ace will check it right away, and Azder will pick it up only if he needs to.
Speaking of things to pick up...
We see a Moon Pearl. We do need to get that.
Yep. Absolutely required if we're going to deal with the other half of this game, which is in the Dark World.
Ace knowing that is just going to go buy bombs. If the bombs hadn't... If there wasn't anything behind either bomb wall, he could have waited on that. So yeah, as you're walking right by the Bottle Vendor, since he doesn't have the money for it right now.
And you see Andy walking back. Doesn't have money for the bottle merchant either.
Ace, you did want to check that Bottle Vendor, right? You walked right by it.
Might do it after checking this.
Yeah, I mean, it just, muscle memory is to go back here and do these checks and to check the Bottle Vendor on your way down. But a little surprised he didn't just do it. We do get a glove in Blind's Hut, so that's important.
Yes, I believe Andy was already in here, and the Book of Adore as well.
Yeah.
So we don't
Book
have the
is
fire
less.
source.
I mean, it's interesting, but it's not really what you care to find. You know, it's good to have because you can check the tablets when you see them, and you don't have to path them. I mean, early book is better than late book, but yeah, it's not really what I would have wanted if I were these runners. And it's just a heart piece, so the runners that didn't get the money for Bottle Vendor aren't going to bother with it.
Yeah, this does, of course, open up the Desert Ledge, having an important item. And at the same time, that also opens up Desert Palace potentially giving us at least one item.
Yeah,
Hopefully two. But,
yeah, it
of
wouldn't
course,
surprise
there's the
me
boost block.
if each team sends someone to check desert. Azder's gonna pick up his bombos and his flippers. Save and quit for Andy just having done that. Save and quit for Ace. Daaanty gonna check back of escape. Looks like Ace is also heading to back of escape.
Yeah, that's gonna get diversion here fairly shortly. And good luck to us keeping up with all four of these runners. We get a shovel there on Daaanty.
Okay. So Dante's going to want to check that relatively quick to see if Andy needs to go that. Same thing with Ace, going to find that shuffle, going to want to check it really quick. That way their partners know whether they need to even go to back of escape, because we didn't get a whole lot else here.
I noticed Dandy's playing with a slightly modified color palette here. Looks pretty nice, actually.
So as you're going to check the man under the bridge here. It's not something you would do this early in a non-co-op situation, I think. Yeah, Andy checking the shuffle spot. Ace gonna check the shuffle spot. So that's a boomerang. Sorry, that was Daaanty checking the shuffle spot. I expect that they're both happy to see that, but neither partner is likely to pick it up.
Meanwhile, in Mini Molder Cave, we find the hammer and our first bottle, which comes with a free green potion in it. Pretty good find, all things considered.
Yeah, the hammer is the important thing. We now have Dark World access 6.5 minutes into the game, so might see some each team send a runner towards that.
Both members of Team PUGS gonna check the dam. And this is actually putting pretty good teamwork here. One runner is gonna just check the first item and then go to Mini Molder, while the other one's gonna check the underwater spot. And that runner's probably gonna go into Agina's cave and move onward into the desert region.
Yeah, very possibly. Neither item being particularly noteworthy. Ace heading over towards Eastern Palace. We'll see if he continues on to this play once he hears that there's a hammer sitting in Mini Moldorm Cave. Can't finish the dungeon without a bow. I know Ace tends to like the early Eastern play, but you know, it's still max of I mean, it could be 3 items, could only be 2. Not a lot in logic. We can't finish the dungeon. We know we have to come back since this is all dungeons. Even if it were a pendant, you'd have to come back to it anyway. As you're about to get his Mini Moldorm stuff.
And we can see Daaanty taking some value in Andy's previous check for the piece of heart. Does want to get to at least some extra health here.
Andy gonna check out desert.
Only 20 rubies on the ledge. Let's see if we can get a way of checking a little bit deeper into the dungeon. It's going to depend on where that small key is.
Well, and where the keys are in general.
Yeah, we ideally do not want to see either one on the torch.
You know, I don't know if I agree with that statement. I mean, obviously, you know, not needing the boots, maybe you can do the dungeon sooner, but I actually don't mind getting boots locked out of desert and getting a guarantee that I'm gonna get boots. Well, we'll see what this item is. If this is not a key of some sort, then we can't do anything in the dungeon. It's a big key, so we are not hard boots lock. We might still be soft boots lock if the small key is sitting on the torch. And by that, I mean it won't be in logic until the boots show up. Not boots locked at all.
No, but some free help on the way if you want to come here and get it.
Yeah, they're not getting that. None of these runners are picking up that container heart. Meanwhile, Ace still in Eastern. Not sure if he's found anything useful yet.
We're seeing the man on the bridge check here from Daaanty meanwhile.
And
our
Azder's
first
gonna
look
be
into
our
Dark
first,
World.
yeah, first runner into Dark World. And we'll start with Hype Cave.
Looks like there's only money underneath the bridge.
Yeah, we saw that earlier on Azder's side. He already checked that. Yeah, and to those of you watching, this is not a capture issue that Azder experienced. This is actually what he's seeing on his screen, so... Yeah.
Armor upgrade and a sword. And I believe another sword was just found by Andy as well.
Where was Andy's sword? Yeah, sword and Hype Cave.
Big key chest in Desert.
Ah, okay. Meanwhile, Ace in the Dark and Eastern.
So Master Sword is available for our runners to find, and I think Andy's gonna stumble upon it immediately. There's our map check. Our other 5-6 is Thieves Town, Pendant Turtle Rock, and Pendant Ice Palace.
Pendant, Turtle Rock, and these can be really annoying. I've seen in, Season 3, there was a rather infamous race where there was an ice rod sitting at the top of GT. So, yeah. I mean, of course, if that happens, everybody has to deal with it, but not what you want to see.
No, it could be definitely a problem in the later stages of the run. But for right now, don't have to worry about doing it just yet. That's not required under GT. There's our lamp.
Hello, lamp.
Okay, so Aghanim was not meant to be done early at all.
We had nothing to do Aga with it. We had 6.5 minute Dark World access. So yeah, we will be doing Aga last. There's no reason these runners will do it anytime sooner. Looks like we're gonna go all the way over to Catfish on Azder's side. Ace gonna go get his hammer so he can go into the Dark World as well.
Stumpy meanwhile having the red mail, so both armor upgrades found now. And now
co-op as Ace tries to remember which chests he needs to open, and it just says, you know what, I'm just gonna open all of them.
I mean, heart pieces may not be really viable, but they do help.
And just some money on Catfish. Ace is
Fair
gonna
amount of
check
money
out
too,
the
though.
Zora area. We don't have Zora money, but we can at least do the other checks.
Andy, meanwhile, pulling up the 5-on-1 target for the ×99.
Yeah, show off.
Meanwhile, Sick Kid, with that bottle turned in, it's only 10 arrows, so not really that viable. Which means Andy can skip it, thankfully. That information will be relayed as per how this co-op works.
Ah, yeah. Ace is thinking about it. He sees that money sitting on the Zora ledge. He could pick that up and loop back around and check Zora right now.
Wouldn't be a bad idea necessarily. Does have to be a bit careful though. Only on 1 heart and with no green mail, I believe those fireballs will one-shot if they catch him. Oh!
Yeah, he knows it. Okay, I missed whatever it was that Ace got in Eastern, but Azder's going in there. So he must have gotten something.
I also missed it if we got something in there.
Chat saying a mirror. Okay.
Oh, the mirror's in there.
That's pretty big. Yeah, I like this choice to go in there and grab that sooner rather than later.
Daaanty, meanwhile, pulling the flute out of the treasure chest game. Huge find for Team Pugs.
I mean, flute's important, but no one's missing that. No one's missing the item there. I'd say the mirror in Eastern is a bigger find, because Daaanty and Andy aren't going there until they have a bow, most likely. And Zora, being its usual disappointment, just a heart piece.
Basin so far not proving too helpful here for Andy. And we going all the way down to Zelda Cell here and hopefully finding something of value.
Okay, looks like Ace is gonna go grab his sword and probably his lamp as well. And then we'll see where our runners go after that. Daaanty into Thieves Town. Kind of a normal play with this loadout. I assume Dante's picked up a sword by now. Hammer blind, not anybody's favorite thing to do.
I can't really tell if he's wearing the armor, but I would assume that Andy told him about the Hype Cave at the very least.
Okay, there's that mirror.
Yeah, it was actually logically lamp locked. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's in logic for Azder. He had the lamp.
We haven't really seen any shields yet, have we?
These shields are pretty irrelevant.
Yeah, I won't say no to the fire shield, but if it's shown, but I'll admit they do have limited use. They're not really required in any aspect of the word.
Okay, looks like Azder's gonna go up to the mountain. Maybe Ace will head over to Village of Outcasts. I would expect a split like that. Andy's still working his way through Hyrule Castle. Finds 20 at the at Dark Cross.
Oh, I don't think Daaanty does have a sword. I think he went straight to this area, so he didn't go to Hype Cave yet.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, he's got a hammer, and if he's got that selected, if we see him doing hammer blind, we'll know. Ace is gonna do Hyrule Castle. Okay. Looks like Hyrule Castle had nothing, so a bit of a shame that he's going here and he's gonna find nothing here. Since we saw on Andy's side, not a whole lot here. I'll be able to do it a little bit quicker with that mirror, though. You won't have to worry about death warping.
Looks like we did find Ether at least in Hyrule Castle, so that is going to be something that Ace will be finding.
Okay, that would be a good old TBD. We don't know, won't know if we'll need that for quite a while.
Okay, it looks like I just saw the menu pull down. I think Danny does in fact have a sword. I just kind of was thrown off by the fact he used this hammer to hit the crystal switch and the stop post earlier.
He's still using that hammer. And we're gonna see a ether tablet check, nothing there. That's the power of the early book, is that we can check that and never have to worry about it again, or we check it and beeline it because it's something good later. And we're gonna get Hera from Azder.
Yeah, and actually
all these different dungeons. Let's go.
Oh, there we go. Boots. So all the mobility options are now available for Team Pugs. They have the mirror, they don't have the mirror, but they have the flute and the boot.
And they don't have the hook shot, so no. We haven't even found the hook shot yet.
I keep forgetting the hook shot is considered a mobility item. But they can travel over fairly quickly with the boots and the flute.
Yeah, and I expect Daaanty will go get those boots right after he's done in Thieves Town. I also expect that we'll see one of Azder and Ace hit Skullwoods. The other maybe hitting Thieves Town as well.
Meanwhile, in here, 50 rubies found here by Azder.
Okay, there's that sword being put to use by Daaanty.
Very clean execution there as well.
And we got the small key. Don't ever want to see that small key.
I don't know if the basement had the second item or not. Wasn't really paying attention there. Darkross meanwhile being checked here by AceZero. And Moldorm is being fought by Azder. And it looks like Team Pug is going to be checking Bumper Ledge and then swapping dungeons here to collect the items that the other two have found.
Was there anything in Thieves Town that Andy needs to get right away? I mean, Daanty's gonna go get the boots, like that's just a given. But I mean, I don't know when you do it if you don't do it now, to be honest. But I don't know that Andy needs to do Thieves Town right now.
Yeah, I don't remember I saw anything important either. And I thought the flute was in here, but then I remember, wait, no, that's in the treasure chest minigame.
Yeah, which looks like Ace is gonna get relatively soon. I'm gonna check Sick Kid first.
I didn't quite see
with the mirror, you don't. If you're gonna go into the dark world, you don't really need to walk all the way down here. You could just mirror in front of this house.
That's true.
Meanwhile, I was gonna do Spiral Cave without boots or hookshot, which is a horrible thing to have to do. And
there's the third medallion.
So there's all our medallions accounted for.
Yeah. Now, I did not see the second item in Hera, but Azder just immediately left, I would assume. So, must have either already found it, or it's in the basement and he just doesn't care to check.
Okay, Ace can head into the Dark World, see whether he goes Skullwoods first or Thieves Town first.
Really coming on the line now for Daaanty.
And Fear Agent in chat making a good point. The Thieves Town is a 5/6 crystal, so making sure both your runners have it makes a lot of sense. It might be, let's see. Now Ace is going to go into Village of Outcasts first. A little unfortunate. They're going to miss the boots for a little bit longer. But and also, you know, each one's going to have a red crystal because Azder with the Hera clear. But, you know, Ace is going to find the flute, so that's good.
Paradox Gaming Mall, Heart Container and 20 reviews down low. We still have the 5 up top to check. And Daanty's going into Eastern Palace, so that mirror is going to be found.
Yeah, a little bit easier to manage to get that a little bit earlier in co-op to, you know, send someone. They're kind of running out of play. I mean, we don't have mitts yet, and without the mirror, you don't get all those mirror checks, so it's kind of running out of things to do. So it makes sense for him to go into either here or Pod in the near future. Ice Rod in Paradox Cave, so yeah, so Paradox required. Kind of a, you know, we talked about earlier the Ice Rod at the top of GT play that has happened before. That is something you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, also know there was a second ball there with a free blue potion, so doesn't have to worry too much about magic for those pendant dungeons either.
We're starting to run things that could even be in GT, which, you know, is worse than PED. You know, I'd rather have something on PED in an all dungeon seed than something in GT that's required.
Actually, there's nothing in GT I think that can be required before.
Well, Ice Rod and Medallions were the main candidates with this pendant crystal layout, and boots could have been there too. We've accounted for all those, so.
Yeah, there's really no reason to not do GT last alongside AGA 1.
A little unfortunate. Azder looks like he's going to follow Ace into Thieves Town, so I'm going to miss those boots a little while longer. But he'll get his flute, and we'll see if he chooses to do something else other than Thieves Town. Let Ace actually finish Thieves Town before he goes in. And Daanty's going to find that mirror very soon. He's in the Dark Rooms of Eastern.
Yeah, that information is going to be relayed to Andy. I think they'll have the flute online just as the mirror gets found, so Andy will just go immediately to pick it up.
I don't know. Depends on what else is available. He might go do Pod, Eastern. Could do both together. They haven't done the pyramid check. They haven't done catfish. Could just send Daaanty to do all the mirror checks and see if Andy needs to rush it.
That is true. I think the ideal play is to have someone go into Swamp House early without the hook shot. Or
No
at least
one wants to do
someone.
hookless swamp. That's not... Was that ideal? Now you might see it. I mean, just the correct play isn't always the ideal play.
I was just thinking that maybe someone should go scout to make sure it's not one of those French vanilla hook shots. If they're running low of checks anyway. They've got a lot of ground to cover already. And yeah, it looks like Daanty's gonna just investigate Palace of Darkness, which makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, it's a little bit more prioritization, I'd say, on PUG's side of splitting up all these checks. Ace and Azder doing in the same dungeon right now. You gotta be a little careful though in these. You want to make sure that both runners are progressing through dungeons. We've seen some races already. You see some races sometimes where it seems like one runner gets way ahead on dungeon clears. That's not always ideal. In fact, usually it's not. Okay, Ace into the blind fight.
Yeah, having your teammate do someplace you're not is also just going to help you save time in general, especially in this co-op setting. So would have saved a bit of time for one of the Shack Tool members to go to do this, but this also works as well.
Well, no, the point is they're prioritizing getting a dungeon clear. Thieves Town doesn't get much faster. I mean, boots would make it faster, but it's not like they can say, well, I'm going to go get those boots in Skull Woods because they don't know they're there. I do expect when they're done, one of them's going to go north and the other one's going to go south to check. One's going to do the South Dark World stuff they haven't done yet, and the other one's going to do the South. One will do north, one will do south. If one of them had a fire eye, it looks like Ace is going north. Now, once Ace finds the boots, if Azder hasn't already committed to south, he might just turn around and say, you know what, I want those. There aren't a lot of items that one would beeline as much as the boots. But Ace is going to do some of these other checks. Oh, this is unfortunate. He's going to check the ledge, and he's going to check probably Graveyard Ledge as well. Bumper Ledge with just a piece of heart.
Oh, that's something we missed, actually. Apparently, in Easter Palace, we also had the mushroom.
Oh, yuck.
So, at least Azder and Andy have that as well. And I'm fairly sure Daaanty does as well, considering he was the first of the two PUG members in here.
Okay. We're going to get our first look at Graveyard Ledge. Let's see if Azder goes north or south. Yeah, he's going to go south. Ace says, take that bomb refill. And the chat pointing out that pod is bow locked. Yeah, it must have been 2 keys on the.
Yeah, I believe it was 2 keys, and Daaanty just hovered, so he'll be able to full clear the dungeon. Well,
yeah.
Mostly, I should say. We still have that bow requirement. At the
end. You need the bow to finish the dungeon, regardless of hovering skills. Neither Ace nor Azder is going to hover that, but they both can mimic clip, so I do expect one of them, if they don't find the bow before that, I fully expect that one of them will clip over there.
And there's the mushroom turn-in from Andy. Wait a minute. Oh, that was spin speed. Okay. Kind of threw me off there a moment.
Oh, Ace still not going into Skull.
Oh my goodness! It's a 4-syllable Eastern Palace. The bow is behind the mushroom.
Okay. I mean, we don't know where the other bow is yet, so we don't know that.
Right, I forgot. Bows are progressive. It's been a while. But that is our first bow, and the other one could be in GT for all we know.
Okay, Azder is gonna do the digging game. I'm not sure if we saw this on the... I think we must have seen this. I don't recall there being anything. Okay, Ace now heading north. He's gonna get his boots.
And
Did we see anything in pod?
Not that I saw, no. It is admittedly really hard to keep track of 4 feats at once here, even with a second set of eyes helping you out.
Yeah, Daaanty, you need to turn the mushroom in first.
AC, you're about to find the boots?
Aces in Skullwoods will be happy finally went here. We'll get these boots. And just as Azder is in K45, looks like he may still have to do Stumpy, and we'll do that, and probably flute back over to Village and head over and get his boots in Skullwoods as well.
Oh, no, this is oh, wait, Magic Powder was found? When was that?
Yeah, I forget where that was.
Like I said, 4 feats.
It was in pod.
Oh, it was in pod, okay. And there's the fire rod!
Okay, and Ace gonna head into desert with those boots. This will be Shaq first look into desert. Azder's gonna go get his boots. It wouldn't surprise me if he went and checked the mushroom at this point.
So I just realized that we just need to find the hook shot before we pretty much know where all the items are that we need. It might still be a while for some runners to get the others, but yeah, the hookshot's the only major item that's currently MIA. Oh, right. Someone bringing up that Mitz has also not been found yet.
Yeah, Mitz kind of an important piece of the puzzle. But
progressive items get me every single time. I swear.
And Swamp Palace being a crystal is relevant with the hookshot being not around, because I mean it's all dungeons, so it's going to be hard required regardless. But like Andy and Daaanty won't be able to wait on it, and you know, have a free look at it in GT, for instance. Ace, I know, can do the mold arm bounce if he absolutely had to. Azder can hover if he absolutely has to, but both in the sense of I don't want to look at 40 locations for that missing hookshot.
Well, it doesn't really matter because Swamp Palace is a crystal. We're gonna have to have it.
I believe that's where I started on that comment.
Yeah, skipping Moldorm is kind of a moot point there because we're gonna need to have the hookshot by the time we reach Moldorm 2. Speaking of the hookshot, there it is.
The hookshot.
Both teams finding it.
Yeah, we have Mitz too because Daaanty is in Kings 2. And yeah, there's a new cliff to get.
Didn't they just
oh no,
mirror?
He's got the mirror.
Yeah, they mirrored.
Yeah, they mirrored, and Azder just got it too. Well, that's everything. That's no mode for us. So Azder's gonna head over to Swamp.
Wait, is it? Where was the Titans Mitz?
Oh, good point. We still have, yeah, I got confused because Daaanty getting the getting the King's Tomb without using the mirror there. So yeah, no, we're still missing those mitts. And Ace, no! Dying to Landmo, that's not good.
Oof. Not a good sign to see. But at least has blue mail.
That didn't help him.
No, it doesn't, but So
Oh, you
this
do get
wasn't
Mit's
used
go
to.
mode, so there you go. Yeah, and chat's right. I mean, this is one of the easier bosses to get back to, but it's not a good death. Meanwhile, Azder's gonna head into Swamp, and he's gonna go do Pod.
This is our first look at Swamp House too, so our Timesmiths could be in here.
I mean, we're kind of running out of places where they could be. I don't know if there's an item on Helmasaur. If there is, then that could be our Mitts.
Could be also the. I don't think we saw the second item out of Skullwoods either, which
No, it'd
could
in
be
the back.
Firelock here. Hammer Lammo.
Yeah, I'd rather just use my fighter sword here. Yeah, it takes fewer hammer shots, but that hammer is kind of dangerous. That's what got Ace before. There we go. There's a dead Landmo, and he's gonna find this isn't the other item, and he'll have to go back and get the other item. I imagine he would go over to turn in that mushroom, running out of things to do. Either that or goes into Pod without the bow. I would hope he goes to do the quick mushroom check first, though.
Could also check the green pendant. We don't know what's on that. It could just be our Timesmiths for all we know.
Yeah, it could be, but you do that on the way to Pod.
Most likely, yeah.
So he's definitely going to do it. Somebody's definitely going to do it. It's just the mushroom check is just a one-off, a very quick one-off. Azder's going to go straight to the back.
Yeah, only finding a map so far. I believe he also found some arrows.
And Azder going to show us the speedrunner strat for Diver Down. Ace gets his Master Sword. Having a little trouble getting that clip in. This is actually faster if you do it right away. Oh, hi.
There it is!
Okay, well, that's go mode for Shack Tool's digging game. Not a really comfy go mode, because we have... Oh, no, they still need to find the bow.
They also need to find the fire rod.
They do, don't they? Where was the fire rod?
It's behind the powder, which neither of them have gone to go get over at Magic Bat or Pod.
Oh, okay. Well, they're on a slightly. I mean, I can't imagine that PUGS doesn't go to Swamp soon. So both teams are going to hit go mode really soon. Yeah, Mitts were at the Diver Down chests.
Yeah, we are at no mode right now, at the very least.
Well, we've been in no mode for... Oh, okay, the Mitts gave us no mode. Okay, so, yeah, Ace is gonna get his... Well, Ace is not gonna get his bow. I swear I saw it too. Not entirely sure where Ace is going. Maybe to check Ped? Seems like an odd time to do that if he is.
Second boat could be here on Argus, too. We don't know where that second one is just yet.
No, we don't. It also could be in GT. This could be Ace going for his hook shot, too. That's probably what he's doing.
Third bottle.
Useless bottle.
Oh, definitely. It has a B in it. Monster King, meanwhile, from Andy. Textbook fight. Well done.
Ace not... and Azder not doing left side, which is good, because we know there's nothing there. Daaanty heading over to Swamp Palace. Ace gets his hook shot.
And this will be go mode for the PUGS, because they will know where every item is, and they just have to go and collect the the ones the other one has gotten.
Gosh, and Shacktul's still not going to turn in that mushroom. Azder's gonna head to Ice Palace. And it looks like Ace maybe is... What is Ace doing? He just gonna go do Swamp right now? Yeah, looks like he's just gonna go do Swamp right now.
They're probably thinking one of the items they're missing is in one of the Titan's Midslock dungeons.
I mean, it certainly could be. This could be Ace. Ace, I know, is a little more... like, Azure doesn't do the diver down strat to get to the left side, so it might be that Ace is gonna do that.
And someone was asking where Quake is. We have scouted Quake as floating out, and I believe both teams know that information.
Yes. Okay, so Ice Palace is going to be new for us here. So Andy in Eastern, we have not seen what's on, if anything, on Armos Nights.
Not flipping the switch here in Ice Palace either, as you would normally do.
You don't need to flip the switch. He's full clearing.
Okay, I thought there was like some sort of like soft flex situation that you prevent by doing that.
No. What it does is allows you to finish the dungeon without the big key, which is relevant in King Sandy modes, and relevant if the big key, you know, if you get all your items and the big key is an iced tea, you're gonna lose time. Most layouts you're not gonna lose time because the big key. Usually, what'll happen is you'll get the big key in literally any other location, and you're better off not hitting it. Now, some people hit it no matter what because muscle memory is a thing. And if you're used to not hitting it in some modes, then you get into a Kisani mode. Not hitting it is, and then you forget to hit it when you have the big key, or sorry, when you don't have the big key, it becomes very relevant.
Daaanty is going to check left side swamp. This is going to be a full clear. Going to lose a little bit of time finding the Titan's Mists, but otherwise should find it fairly quickly.
Yeah, Ace not doing the left side swamp of note. They still need that bow. And I don't imagine Ace is going to go back for it.
So we're wrong turn in meanwhile from Andy.
Yeah, I mean we had the 5-6 crystals available early, so this makes a lot of sense to just do this right away. Daaanty does get a sword out of it, so that's going to be advantage Pugs. Although we'll see if Andy decides to go get that. Like that's really far out of the way.
And Andy, meanwhile, will be finding the lamp by virtue of this, and that's actually kind of a good thing for him, because if he doesn't want to go for that left side with Swamp Sword, he'll be doing Master Sword Silverless, in which case the lamp will be very helpful in keeping the magic costs low.
Thing is, if you're on Master Sword going into Ganon, you're probably checking that location when you drop down. But yeah, I mean, it's good you can pair it up with the Pyramid Fairy check. And not a surprise we get nothing at Pyramid Fairy, since there's only some nice luxury items left to find. Azure, meanwhile, is in the Cold Stare fight. Shoutouts to Red Mail, or in his case, Purple Mail. Keeping him alive for now.
And just like that, they have found it, and Andy is immediately mirroring, heading over to Swamp. Because they know they are in go mode.
Yeah, oh, of course. I did not see the medallion requirement over there on Meyer. Hopefully somebody in chat did.
I believe it is somewhat irrelevant because we know where all three are, but...
I mean, I wouldn't say that. If it's Quake, Ace can't go in there.
That is true.
And he may want to go in there, or he might be better off not going in there if it's... You know, it might be better for them if he can't go in there. Maybe they get over to turning that mushroom sooner. Yeah, it is in fact Quake. And Ace is gonna go get it.
Alright, so Andy and Daaanty are going to be slowed down just a little bit, but they do have information on where that Quake medallion is.
I mean, both
Andy,
teams get slowed down by that, so it's kind of a wash.
that is also true.
Huh, Azder also heading over to the Mire area. Was there something else here that we missed? Oh, is he doing desert? Oh, he's gonna do desert, get his Master Sword.
Andy scouting the Quake medallion.
I guess Ace hasn't gotten all the stuff here in Paradox Cave. Right, the Ace Rod.
Alright, so I believe Daaanty and Andy now know they need to go to the mountain. Yeah,
Yeah,
Danty's
where
immediately
Danty's
going to
heading
get
right
that Quake. He has to come over here anyway to get the Ice Rod as well, so this works
Well,
out for him.
Not really. The Ice Rod, you ideally would get it when you're going to Turtle Rock.
Well, the way he's set up, he can just do Turtle Rock while he's here. Unless
could,
Ether is
but-
required for it.
I mean, that's why. I mean, Ace is gonna find out right now whether we need Ether for it or not.
It is Quake required for both entries. Now, one nice thing that AceZero could do here is check Hookshot Cave, which we haven't had access to because we've lacked the Titan's Fist. That could be where one of our bows are.
Good.
And that could bail
Could
them
also
out
be
from
a
not
sword.
checking them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing in Super Bunny.
Our fourth bottle in
Nice
Hookshot
that
Cave.
one. I think that had green in it, so at least it's a useful bottle.
Yeah, that means we had two of those now. And just money in the other chest, so no bow to speak of.
Flute, not mirror. Okay, where are we going? Okay, looks like Azder's gonna head into pod. He'll get the powder. I do wonder if it's the possibility of the fake powder that's keeping them from turning that mushroom in, but you could just fake powder. We have the tools to do that.
Yeah, hopefully they think about it soon. They really do need to find that fire rod.
I mean, the good thing is they are still progressing throughout. Ace falling a little bit behind in terms of dungeon clears with only 3, although he and Daaanty are at the same spot in that sense. No, he's gonna do smiths. Maybe get something nice like a second bow or a sword. I do like the pink water over on Andy's side as he goes through Swamp Palace. That's pretty. And as expected, Azder's going to go ahead and mimic clip in pod. And Ace is going to fake powder, so he's going to get that fire rod. See if he gets the bow right afterwards.
Andy almost walking by those Titan spits, meanwhile.
Yeah, that would have been an unfortunate mistake. Azder gets through the mimic clip just fine, and we'll find the small keys. Ace not picking up the purple chest. That's an interesting choice. He doesn't know it's probably the correct choice. And Ace gonna go immediately take that fire rod and finish up Skullwoods. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if these guys, if they remember they have the mushroom, because it is, as stated in chat, it's a relatively quick check. And even if you're worried about fake powdering, if that's your concern, they could have reset. Oh, there's your fire shield.
Alright. The bugs are looking to be very strong position here.
Oh, I mean, they flat out had the lead. Just, you know, do we find a bow elsewhere? There's really not a whole lot of other places that Shack Tools can find a bow at this point. The one good thing for them is they are still clearing dungeons. So it's not over yet, but, you know, they're going to be down a sword unless, you know, they might run into Tempered, but they're going to be down a sword, and you know, just not checking that mushroom. And Azder's certainly not going to check the mushroom now. He's just going to, you know, get the... I don't looks like he didn't get far enough into pod to do the powder. He's going to go ahead and get his fire rod right now.
First look into Mire here, I believe.
Yep. We might not get much of a look, depending on where that big key is.
True.
Azder with his fire rod.
AceZero using the blue potion there as a safety measure. Oh, and Daisy just finds an immediate big key and attempts to hover.
Yeah, so we're not going to see anything else in this dungeon. And there's Azder finally turning in that mushroom.
That will be collective no mode for them. They still need to get the other items.
Mode.
Yeah,
that's go mode. They know where everything is. There is no mode in a team competition for a team. No mode is us. No mode is we know where all the things are. But that's just go mode because they know exactly what to do. Did
fair
Azder
enough.
not pick up the sword? I thought Azder picked up the sword in Desert, and he's still on Fighter Sword. At some point, he needs to get a sword.
I don't think Azder has been to Hype Cave. Has he?
I thought he was the one that got the Hype Cave sword. Maybe it was Ace? No, because he did Desert before... Sorry, he did Swamp before Desert, so he had the... Yes, he didn't pick up the Desert sword.
Well, here comes Vitreous. Spin Strats here, potion for safety.
Yeah, good old NMG strats. Can't quite do it as the same. I mean, you have the blue mail to help me out a little bit, but you don't quite have the hearts. And just a small key on Vitreous, because, you know, Vitreous likes to have that small key.
He likes to keep his treasure hoard locked securely. What can I say?
Yeah, and how secure is it when you don't have to actually unlock any doors except the one? With a small key freely available on the in a pot. He needs to do a better job.
I mean, he hit that locked door in the dark, so he's at least trying a little bit.
The only door you have to open in Mire, if you're gonna full clear, is the one on the left side. That's not in the dark.
I know, but I was saying that one of the locked doors in Mire is a rupee room.
Oh well, no one ever goes there.
Exactly. Also, shoutouts to the MSU packs here. We've been listening to, I believe this is Super Mario RPG over via Daaanty.
Ace got the big key right away, is headed straight to the boss. As you're heading over towards Helmasaur, Andy going to be able to do a very quick Ice Palace. Daaanty going to finish up Skull Woods. Everybody in a different dungeon.
I'm having a little bit of deja vu here. I think I saw this same palette for Ice Palace just the other day.
Yeah, the Ice Palace palettes can be really neat. This was a good one. Or they can be really ugly. You get like some ugly greens or such. That's pod for Azder. Ace letting the Vitreous fight get away from him a little bit.
Meanwhile, that was a super clean moth fight. Only one spike even coming out during it for Daaanty. I don't think you can do that fight any cleaner.
Oh. It's nice when Moth plays nice. It's also nice when you have the skill to take advantage.
AceZero resorting to sword strats here. Doesn't have enough arrows to finish off the
I don't think
ball.
he has any arrows.
Yeah, he didn't have. He had enough to wound it, but not enough to kill it. But yeah, it is time for the dungeon rush here, and
that's what we're doing. The only person that needs to pick anything up is Azder still needs to pick up a sword. And still baffled by him not picking it up when he was in Desert. But fortunately, he has to go over to Mire anyway. So I imagine that unless he runs into a sword elsewhere, which at this point, I don't think there's anywhere we haven't seen that he's going to run into. So he's going to have to do that.
he could have been bailed out.
Question, does Daaanty get the lamp? Maybe? He could just get it right before he does Aga Tower. He's already done most of the relevant dark rooms.
I think it depends on how confident he is in his silverless skills, which he should be fairly confident in.
It's not the silverless that's the issue, it's the torch glitch.
Yeah.
Also, do you have half magic to have extra shots and to waste on that torch glitch? But he doesn't need to rush it. Like, if he wants to get it, you can just get it when he falls onto the pyramid after Aga 2. There's no reason for him to get it any sooner than that.
Yeah, you can even get it before Aga 1, just so he can see on the way out.
Oh, if Fire Rod, I mean, it's not in logic, but if you know once you know where the torches are, actually Fire Rod, Aga 1, Castle Tower is pretty easy. Definitely something that Daaanty could do if he never found the lamp. Definitely something that any one of these runners can do. Dark Aga, like no fire at all. Now that's a thing.
Yeah, that's the one set of dark rooms I absolutely refuse to learn. If I'm supposed to do that, give me the lamp.
Yeah, so it is in logic if there is a torch in every room. The Aga Tower rooms, only the 2 difficult rooms have torches. The easy rooms do not. So that counts as not having a torch, therefore not in logic.
We are seeing Azder tipping back into the dungeon to get that sword, which is a good heads-up play.
Yeah, he needs to get a sword. They're running out of places where they could just run into one, and you don't want to be going up to Turtle Rock and into GT without a sword, so...
Yeah, Turtle Rock is, I would say, more so because the Trinex fight on Master Sword is...
No, that's not the issue.
Or
I mean, he could still run into one, but if he doesn't and he comes out of GT with a fighter sword, it's be a lot more out of the way for him to go back to desert to get the sword he knows than it would be. So once you go up the mountain, in Go mode, you don't want to have to ever worry about that mountain again. Like Ace and Daaanty are going to get to the mountain, and they're going to do 3 dungeons. They're going to do Turtle Rock, they're going to do Hera, and then they're going to do GT. Azder and Andy have both already done Hera, so they're just going to do Turtle Rock into GT. But you don't want to have to go after that to do anything else. Like, that's the good thing about not having progression in GT, is you're not having to do the other things.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I was just saying that Hammer Trinex sucks.
Most runners with most runners with Master Sword will just do Hammer Trinex, so... If you know what you're doing, it's faster than using your Master Sword. Azder, did you not do Skull Woods? Well, we'll have to look at his menu, because... He said, this is exactly what I was... He didn't do Mire either. Oh, he needs to get his Quake. Never mind. So he'll go get his Quake, then he'll go to do Mire and Skullwoods in whichever order he prefers. A little surprised he didn't do... this may have been... He went to Desert thinking he had the medallion and forgot. So that's a little unfortunate. He's gonna have an extra dip in the Mire area.
Yeah, a minor time loss, but still one you don't want to take.
Essentially triple dipping the area since he didn't get the sword there the first time. Ace, meanwhile, using hammer strats on Helmasaur. Very nice job. Daaanty about to get into the Armos fight. He just needs to go do his mountain dungeons.
Yeah, at this point, the silver arrow's got to be in, like, GT or TR. Unless they're somehow also deep in Mire, and we just completely missed them.
We didn't get any items out of Mire, so they certainly could be there. We didn't check purple chest, so if it says Dark World, we'll know where. I don't know if there's any other Dark World locations left. Now, Azder's just gonna go ahead and do Turtle Rock now. It doesn't really matter at this point whether he does it now or later. Either way, he's gonna have to come back up the mountain at some point.
And if we see it on Death Mountain, there's... Well, there might be 2 possibilities, depending on the key... on how the dungeon goes for TR.
Oh, he might be doing this ahead just so that he can, get the key layout for Ace. And maybe, there's a sword in here. But yeah, if you have to come up here anyway, it's not going to make a difference whether you do this now or later.
The question is, does he check Mimicate for that 3rd sword?
No. Absolutely not. That's way too slow a check, and... If it happened to be the sword, it probably saves the time, but... You can't expect it to be there. He's just gonna do the... I don't see him doing anything but, maybe doing extra laser bridge checks, honestly.
Okay, this is a really fitting theme for this dungeon.
I don't know Super Mario RPG, so I can't.
This is the minecart minigame music from Super Mario RPG.
Okay, I have to agree there.
Berta found meanwhile.
Yeah, Cane and Berna. I mean, it's an extra safety. Not super useful because, like, on the Ganon fight, it just would lag things. So, you know, if you're gonna use something, you're gonna use Cape. Every one of these runners doesn't need either one of those things anyway.
Alright, Changer's gotta have a small key in it, so... Oh, that is an unfortunate placement, though. That changed out just deleting the Samaria setup. Oh, and Daaanty barely surviving against the chain jumps. Those things hurt. If not for the blue mail, he would have been dead.
Fortunately for him, there's some anti-fairies he can powder in the next room.
Yeah, luckily for him, there is that.
He's already got that powder ready to go. Except the way he did that, it was not ideal. You literally, if you just walk in the room, you just and powder immediately, that works. And he went around to the other side, and I don't remember who I was watching, but I recently saw a runner do that exact thing, and didn't get the powder off and took damage from the anti-fairies and took a death. So, fortunately for Daaanty, that did not happen. It was a little scary for a second, though.
Yeah, those chain chomps, though, are no joke. They are, I believe, the second most damaging enemy in the entire game, with the first being Ganon with its contact damage.
Yep, that's right.
It take off a good 5-6 hearts with just one bite if you're on green mail.
Let's see if yeah, Azder has a small key, so he's gonna check Laser Bridge, see if he can score a sword or some silver arrows.
We'll see if Daaanty will do the same. He's sitting there now.
I don't think Daaanty will, since he's got Tempered Sword. Whereas for Azder, there's potentially, to their mind, 3 items that could get them put them in a better situation. Silver arrows and 2 swords that they don't have. Whereas for Daaanty, it'd be 1 sword, which, you know, for them with Tempered, it really doesn't make a huge difference. It makes the 1-in-1 basically free, but it doesn't make it faster. And obviously silvers, but that's a lot of checking for silvers.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Laser Bridge is not the answer, though. Does not have any of those items.
Laser Bridge had nothing, so...
Doing behind the back setups here for Trinex.
Yeah, a faster strat in general. In fact, Daaanty and Azder are basically doing the same strat. The difference is Daaanty has a tempered sword, so he's gonna get through it just a little bit faster. Andy doing the same thing as well. I mean, these guys are all speedrunners, so you know you expect to see these kind of strats.
Yeah, they are some of the most consistent, just length of the pass players in general. So this is just very comfortable for all 4 runners.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of these 4 players have won championship. Azder's, of course, was an SMZ3, but Daaanty and Andy have both won tournaments, so.
And
Sorry,
that is the
Ace.
last dungeon for Andy, so we got a game to play. Where do you think our big thing's gonna be, Tracy?
In Ganon's tower.
Which chest? Come on.
I'm just gonna go with my normal 5.
I'm gonna spice things up a bit. I want to say it's 13. I want to give him a little bit of time to maybe find the 4th sword or maybe the silver arrows. Hopefully
Yeah, we're gonna
get
go
back a little bit.
We'll go with Andy's count because Daaanty still has to do Hera.
Of course.
Meanwhile, Azder has to backtrack, do Skull Woods, and do Mire.
Alright, first look at the items here. We're gonna start by going left and checking the torch. Item number 1 is 20 rupees. Moving on.
Yeah, I think I'm just seeing a lot more of these so-called Dark Magician strats in co-op. Just kind of covers your bases a little bit quicker. Alternatively, Andy could just keep going to the left and Daaanty maybe hits the right.
Number 2 is the small key. Number 3 is the map.
Nope, we got a mirror. Andy's gonna mirror and go to the right.
4 and 5
he's
are
just gonna
the...
mirror. You see, 5?
You got it right, Tracy. Nice.
Well, it's easy to get it right every once in a while if you always guess the same number.
Fair enough. I like mixing it up a bit too much, I guess. Yeah, it was in 5 over in the Stalins room, also known as Dark Magician room.
Just gonna throw a little math at you. Yeah, I'll get it right on average 1 out of 22 times, every 22 times. So.
Alright, so both Daaanty and Andy are on their way up the GT. Andy entering the gauntlet, as we like to call it. These changes are being really rude to our runners here. Just getting in the way of their Samaria setups.
Ace heading through Turtle Rock. Azder needs to go do Mire. He's gonna pull ped. Everybody, get excited for a full dungeons ped clear. This is for you.
Well, it's not nothing. It's half magic.
It's a good item, but Ace isn't gonna go back and get it. Sadly, it's after all the dungeons where half magic is super useful.
Yeah, it's also the hard lock behind the 2 dungeons that might be useful. Ice Palace and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's where you'd want half magic the most.
Also, Desert to a degree because of the Fire Rod quick kills. The Lambolas.
You should be able to do that in 6 shots, and you can choose to have up to 8. So. Yeah, I suppose Azder could use it for the Vidi fight. I expect him to do NMG strats. I mean, you know, he was once the low percent world record holder where you do this fight on 3 Hearts, Master Sword, and Green Mail. So, it'll be more interesting to see if he attempts this hover. Not likely to get it, but he might try it.
Andy checking the top 4 here, just making sure there's not any sort of last-minute items to help speed up the fight.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a silver arrow here, that'd be super nice. But
320 rupees up here. One of the items in Mire's only 20 rupees.
Come on, Andy. Just a bunch of money.
Well, one way or the other, we're about to find out where the silver arrows are. As Andy begins Agam 2. Ooh, a little bit claustrophobic here. Gets a double still. I think that was a double. I think one of the hits got layered. An awkward third cycle. There we go, yep.
Yeah,
Triple double.
I think he could have gotten triple off of that too if he had needed it.
Alright. That is the goal. Oh, it's not the goal met. I almost forgot. We have all the penance, we have all the crystals, but Aghanim 1 has yet to fall for Andy. He's got to go take care of that first.
So does everybody else, because nobody's done it. There was never any reason to do it. Nothing on Lumberjack, nothing, didn't need it for Dark World Axis.
Yeah, but I nearly called it was time to fight the pig. That's for my point. Jump the gun there just a little bit. Okay, that's a good jiggle.
Yeah, Azder playing a little fast and loose on the Vitreous fight, but does make it through with 2 hearts left. I mean, you got red mail and lots of hearts. For him, lots of hearts.
AceZero's doing the dash strats. Gets it eventually.
And see, Daaanty was just gonna pick up this lamp now. There's no reason for him to get it anytime sooner.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Just have it for Aga 1 can help with setting up Torch Glitch. Does have like 3 full magic restores, so not really the biggest deal if they miss Torch Glitch.
I think we picked up a blue and 2 greens, yeah. So Ace gonna enter GT just a little bit before Azder.
We'll see if AceZero decides to poke around a bit more to try to find that. I don't think he will because they probably feel behind because of how late their boat was.
Well, I expect him to do Hope Room. And we'll see if he follows a key there if there is one. I thought that there were several keys in the Stalfos room, so.
Smoking 20 rupees here, and
he's not
going to
gonna
go
bother.
right. Yep.
So they're not gonna find a sword or the silvers.
Yep, so a traditional GT route here for them. Azder might go right, though. But I think by the time he enters GT, they're going to find the big case, so I don't think they will.
I mean, even if he does go right, he's not going to get very far.
Yeah. Alright, here we go, the Aghanim 1 fight.
Ace mirroring. Azder says, you know what, I have this key that I don't care about. I'm just going to walk through this way rather than mirroring, which is faster, especially when you know you're going to get keys.
Yeah. Alright, full restored from the Aghanim 1 fight, and down to fight the pig.
Andy first into Ganon.
Random hot air balloon effect for us today. Oh my goodness.
Somehow within the Super Mario RPG, we suddenly got Final Fantasy music. Wait, what?
Yes, this is the Kulix boss fight. That's a good touch. Kulix is a super boss in the game, inspired by the Final Fantasy music, because I believe Square did the Super Mario RPG. So.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, well, yeah, I definitely did not expect to hear that. It's good music though.
And the arrows were back in Ganon's Tower.
I mean, that's not really a surprise given how many chests we didn't open in Ganon's Tower and given how many chests we opened everywhere else. We had a couple of checks in. We had 2 items in Mire, few items in Turtle Rock, a couple of overworld checks beyond that. Not a whole lot else.
Oh, AC are taking a death.
Oof. That's unfortunate.
Was that a death in Ganon's Tower? Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it was in Ganon's Tower. I didn't see how far up he was.
Oh, was that a single one? But anyway, GG's in chat for Andy finishing in first place for his team. Averages do come into play here when it comes to cooperative races. But if both team members on Team Pug finish before the other team, by default, their average will always be better. So it'll be just an auto win before calculations.
That's just math.
Yep.
The only way averages, I mean, it is by average score. But the only way it actually matters and it comes into play is if one team finishes first and fourth, and the other team finishes second and third, and that's not happening here. Like,
no, it's not.
I'm not going to do the Ganon fall number thing on Daaanty. I hate that meme. I mean, it happens. Players do fall, but he's not going to fall multiple times. It would have to happen. That doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, Daanty's got this fight in lockdown. Just some clean execution here.
I mean, the tournament he won, they didn't ever get to have silver arrows, so he has to be good at this.
And ladies and gentlemen, get your GCs in chat for Daaanty, who will come in second overall, which means that we'll lock in Pugs as the winner of this race with a time of 1:22.13. Excellent, excellent race to see here. Alright, meanwhile, Shaxill's digging game is going to be up there. Boulder 2 and Lambo 2 being fought at the same time. As you're just finishing up, both bosses are actually being wrapped up here. Alright. Aghanim 2 being fought here. They still have to fight Aghanim 1, so they're still a ways out from finishing. And we are now joined by our two runners here from Team Pugs, Andy and Daaanty. GG's once again. Congrats on your win here. Walk us through how you thought the seed went.
GG's. I mean, it went pretty well. There were a couple awkward moments. Uh, Mirror in an early EP and Powder leading to Fire Rod in an early pod without the bow was just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
But you know, Mushroom being an Eastern for the bow also. Getting that immediately after was kind of funny.
Yeah, it turned out to be a hard required double dip. That was probably your biggest advantage is you guys checked that a lot earlier than Shack Tools did. So you guys end up with a go mode mitts, which is always a good thing, which is not what we got on the other side.
Yeah, it was. We were
definitely-
like, we got mitts, and we're like, oh, like I was going to Catfish to get money to do Zora because we hadn't done Zora yet, and he found the mitts, and we were like, wait, is that go mode? Because we still had like 7 dungeons a pop to do.
Yep. That's a lot of dungeons done in go mode for you guys.
I'm really glad we went left side first. I gotta say, because if we'd have got mitts like for go, we would have been.
I mean, mitts wasn't even go mode for Shack Tools, but they never did left side, so they didn't get the tempered sword. So notice they're still on Master Sword. Who knows what the last sword is?
It's probably
Others
deeper
are
in
GT somewhere, but you know I can't speak for them, but we skipped a lot of checks, so the sword could be, you know, anywhere.
And we're actually down to like we did see Laser Bridge. Azder checked that, even though they were in go mode at that point. But we didn't see either item in Mire. It's probably just in GT along with the silver somewhere, to be honest. But I'm trying to think. We didn't see the items in Mire. There's some items in Turtle Rock and like Purple Chest and Mimic Cave. You know, not much else.
We did see one item in Mire actually. Azder did check the Spike Room, which did have 20 rupees.
Oh, okay.
But the other item is still MAA.
Those 20 rupees would have been really good early on. This seed early game was just so awkward to route money wise and bomb wise.
Yeah, fun fact, there was 300 rupees sitting on the Zora ledge.
Yeah, I saw it.
There was a funny moment of hesitation on Ace's part when he went over there early in the game. Like, do I go pick that up and loop around? And then Zora, I had nothing. I forget what, maybe a heart piece or something like that.
Yeah, I thought about doing it when I saw them, but then I was like, I'm going to be at 400, so those are just dead to me now.
Yeah, yeah. If it gets you to 500, that's a lot different than if they don't.
There's also the one-off checks of Spike Cave and Mimic Cave. I don't think either of those were checked. That could have also been where
Spike Cave
sword
is
was.
another one. Yeah, I said Mimic Cave, but yeah, Spike Cave is another one.
Cave also was MIA for the most part, now that I think about it.
What was?
The Magic Cape. Their other invincibility item.
Oh, okay. Probably also in GT somewhere.
Where did you get that? Did you get the cape, Daaanty?
No,
you didn't. It's on the track.
I got that blue. I got the blue cane.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Blue Cane was in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it was next to that small key.
Andy was too good for that, but I was not too good for the lamp because I could do Aga Tower, but I was like, it could be farting around too much in here, so I figured it might be worth.
And you might want it for Torch Glitch, but yeah, I mean, I don't think Aga Tower is that hard with Fire Rod, but it can get very panicky if you miss a Fire Rod shot. So yeah, I definitely agree with picking up that lamp there at the end of the game there.
Yeah, Daaanty didn't have his maps up, so he was like, I'm just gonna grab it.
Like, I mean, it was right there. If we didn't know where it was, it's not gonna be like, yo, Andy, I gotta find this lamp. So
yeah, exactly. But you knew where it was, and no reason not to pick it up.
It wasn't like when Daaanty found the mitts for go mode after the tempered sword. I was like trying to math out whether going to left side for a third sword was worth it.
Yeah,
because I was like, I have no idea. I was like, all right, well, it'll save me time on Trinex, Vidi, Cold Stare, Mothula. I don't have to light the torches stupidly with the fire rod to get into Landmo. So I ended up just like biting the bullet and going to
Yeah, I think it was early enough that
Yeah, and then all the fights also went well, minus the 0 cycle Argus that I did not get. But so I feel like it probably ended up saving time overall.
Yeah, probably.
But it still felt like kind of bad, like in the moment.
Yeah, and speaking of clean fights, Daaanty, that mob fight was just super crisp. Only one spike ever moving at all is just amazing.
Yeah, we got lucky with the placements because I did not get the double poke to start. So I don't know. It felt like I kind of salvaged that, but it would have been nicer to, because that was like the RNG where you can get a pretty easy, no spike move.
Yep.
Where was half magic?
Head.
All right.
Oh.
So Azure went over to get his sword in desert because he for some reason forgot to grab it when he went over there and didn't have Quake to open up Mire yet, so he had to go all the way back up the mountain to grab Quake. So he just did Turtle Rock while it was there, because at that point it doesn't make a difference, right? You do it then or do it later. So when he went back to Skull Woods, he was able to pull Ped, and sure enough, half magic was there. I mean, it's not something you're gonna go out of your way to pick up, but it was just kind of funny that it just ended up that way.
Yeah, I thought about doing Turtle Rock when I was getting the Quake, just because like I couldn't tell which one of between me and Daaanty were ahead. So I wanted to like maybe consider doing Turtle Rock to save Daaanty a little bit of time routing wise through Turtle Rock, but it ended up like it was 2 extra mirror warps basically to go from Quake to the TR entry compared to just doing it later. So I ended up just bailing.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mark these other guys so you can try and get them in here a little bit sooner. Spoilers, they do finish.
Yeah, as we just see
God.
Azder finishing up the Ganon fight there. Both runners on Shackles doing a Master Sword serverless fight, so gonna be a little bit wild. We're only seeing phase work just start up from AceZero, so it'll be just a few more minutes.
I mean, I happen to know Azder enjoys doing the Master Sword Silverless fight. He just doesn't enjoy how slow it is compared to Tempered, and would rather it be something that both sides have to do. But yeah, I mean, tough match. I mean, you guys put the, you want to talk about putting together this team a little bit? Because, I mean, Andy, I know you and I discussed it a little bit over on a Cross Keys, after a Cross Keys race, when you spilled the beans for us, so to speak. But, I mean, it's kind of a super team. Like, we got 2 tournament winners and an NMG world record holder,
The funny part with Eri was like Andy and I didn't know who we were getting for a third for a long time, and I just shot my shot with Eri because we've been playing a lot of NMG together, and then I just said, "Hey, are you playing the league? And do you have a team? You want to join me and Andy maybe?" And he was like, "Well, my friends are not entering the league this year, so if I want to play, I kind of have to." So.
Nice.
Yeah, the original prospect was Humbug. As a third, which is not a slouch.
No,
but like
definitely
if
good.
if Eri is available, we're not going to say no to Eri.
No, I know, of course not. We do welcome him, Ace and Azder. GG's guys, tough matchup for your first week. I know Azder and I talked about this is not exactly who you wanted to face right away. Good showing, but unfortunately, they got the bow a lot earlier than you and had go mode mitts. And you didn't.
Yeah, I only thought of that like after we finished. My mind had to figure out how we lost by 10 minutes, and it was like we just put off Mushroom for so long because neither of us actually wanted to do it without Float, and then once we had Float, we were busy doing so many other things, and we wanted to kind of keep Fake Powder alive too, because we didn't know where that was, and I was so excited when we got like Fire Out and Bow back to back out of that to get go mode that I didn't have time to think of the implications of like, oh, we actually should have done this way earlier, and we've been go mode minus those 2 things for a while. So
yeah. Yeah, that really hurt. You also missed the sword on left side swamp, which played a role, but I think the bigger thing was just getting that bow in the and then mostly the bow more so than the fire rod.
Yeah, that's too bad. Oh well.
Yeah, the swamp one is one that I would have definitely been worth it for me. Maybe not quite as worth it for Azder.
I would have chanced Silver showing up. By the way, did you like that skip of the desert sword?
Yeah, I didn't quite realize you skipped it until you're running around and noticed the tracker had you on fighter sword. And it's like the one item where it's really easy to see what sword you have. I'm like, that sure looks like a fighter sword. And then you go back to desert to pick it up. Was your plan to do that at the same time as Meyer, but then you forgot Quake? Was an issue?
Yeah, I forgot Quake. That was a mistake. It didn't end up being. Yeah, that part of it was a mistake. But if we found other swords that were better, because I really didn't like the run back to the big chest and the run back across,
right, the key chest,
just for the sword. I thought that if we maybe got info on better swords before then that could be my skip. And if not, then I'll get it later. And I also wanted to save that amount of time and get into the next dungeon faster to start getting info faster. So it was, I won't say it was actually a better play, but I liked it for the reasons that I made it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Unfortunately, we knew where one of the swords were, and we knew you weren't getting it. So it's like, well, he's gonna have to get that at some point, Because yeah, you can't be going into GT on fighter sword when you know where a master sword is. That just would be silly.
Yeah, I was hoping there's sword and TR or something, and then I'd be willing to go into GT on master sword in that condition and just hope that there's one in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was catching up on Pod to get that powder for Fire Rod while Daaanty was in the process of doing Swamp, and I told him to go do Desert first for the Master Sword with the flute and book. Just because Swamp with Fighter Sword is absolute hell. But
that and we had no way of checking. We could have read Bombo's tablet, but that was kind of another implication of just we can snag that while we're there.
Yep.
But that was I don't know, when Andy found that sword early and then we got the second one, it was okay, maybe there's something on these tablets. That's kind of why the book was there. But we actually, I guess never really had a reason to check them because of just kind of the way things fell. I did not really feel great about the North Dark World trip, but I didn't really have any dungeons I could do some dungeons, but I was this is the only new information I feel I can get that's not going to be potentially a huge waste of time. If we went to into Swamp, I think, without the hook. So getting the hook there felt really good. But
oh yeah, the other thing you guys had as an advantage is you got boots a lot earlier.
Who was that got boots?
They
earlier?
did.
Okay, that's
yeah, because they went split up. One of them did Thieves Town, the other one went into Skullwoods. I forget who did which, but
yeah, I should have done Thieves Town first because I was Daaanty, go get or you can. I got the sword from Desert, and then I was okay, I'm gonna do South Dark World, and I was well, I have the sword, so I should probably have been the one to do Thieves Town first. But then there was another sword in Hype Cave, so Daaanty just got that and then went to Thieves Town after while I did South Dark World.
Right.
And then there wasn't really a good place to go. It was go to Pod without a bow. We hadn't been to Eastern yet, so it was or go to Saha and Eastern without a bow, or follow Daaanty to Village of Outcasts and do Skullwoods and see if there's anything in there. That way I know what to do in Thieves Town. So yeah, getting that boot info was nice. And then there was no reason for me to not do Thieves Town with the flute right there and the boots already.
Right.
So
yeah, Thieves Town, once you have boots and a sword, doesn't get much better.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the boots that Azder and Ace missed. I mean, because not only did they not have it for Thieves Town, and then Ace, you went and did Graveyard
Yeah.
Ledge, and then had to go back to do King's Tomb, which was hard required with mirror because the myths were
Right.
behind the mirror. So that just the extra little bit of waste of time. So I mean, when you think about it, when you think about the difference in your routes, 10 minutes I think is about right, given just the route differences. Not even I mean, just yeah. I think just that's just what's going to happen when you take the two different routes that you guys did.
Right. Yeah, the boots in Skull Woods was really felt bad, but it was funny because we were talking about that, and like I tend to want to do the front of Skull Woods before doing like the North Dark World stuff, just like because I hate walking over there and not being able to use the boots to check like King's 2 and Blanc
Right.
Cross. And Azder was like, yeah, but if you get the mitts, then you can just do those in the Light World anyway. And I was
I'm
like,
about
well,
to get the blame for
like,
this.
but I was like, what if? No, it's not a blame. It's just like
Either
the
way
one.
can happen. Yeah,
there's
it
a risk either way, right? Because
Yeah,
if you get Fire Rod at Graveyard Ledge, then it saves you a ton of time not doing Skull, then Graveyard Ledge, then back to Skull. But if you get specifically the boots in that situation in Skull Woods, it's the exact opposite. It's like it just worked out the one thing you don't want when you route like that.
Yep.
Was
And
there.
that's rando. That's what happens in rando, you know.
Yep.
I thought Graveyard Ledge was a good play because Mirror seemed like it was hot given like where it was
Yeah,
in
and
Eastern. That I felt like it was pretty
Yeah.
pivotal.
It sounds like
Yeah,
we
I
got
think
it much
that's a fair
earlier
thing.
too. We
Yeah, you did.
weren't really
Yeah,
able to
much
leverage
earlier.
it though, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I want to say it's just those mitts and swamp, and the hook shot,
Yeah.
but you need the boots for the hook shot. So
Right.
it's just those two items.
So they didn't have fake powder available because they like got mushroom fairly early and took that bow, right?
They turned it in earlier, so they had to actually use real powder.
So
Yeah.
it was actually I felt really bad seeing the powder in Pod Big Key Chest because I was just like, oh, it's free if you
Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, after Thieves and Boots, Daaanty did Eastern Pod, and then so he had the mushroom, but went to Pod instead of turning it in. So when I was catching up to get the mirror, to, like go do Death Mountain afterwards, I was like, I'll just flute and check the mushroom so that you can fake powder if it's nothing. And then I was like, LMAO the bow. And then he found powder like right as I went to check mushroom anyways.
That's such a great chain for the bow.
Yep.
It makes Mirror kind of free at that point, I guess. Well, no, because like you're probably staying in Eastern to get the Mirror anyways, but then Mirror.
Yeah,
I thought Hookshot and King's 2 was just really awkward for us.
it was really awkward for us too. It was like swamp without hook, or Daaanty can clean up that stuff with mirror and boots. While I was on Death Mountain, basically, and so that's what he did because I only got Ice Rod on Death Mountain, pretty much.
Yeah, that's
minus
about it.
minus the looming item in Hair Basement that I couldn't do.
Oh, I could do that because I went Pyramid Catfish early, got the
Yeah.
lamp, and then I was like, they probably didn't do this, and if Hair Basement is nothing, I'm losing a minute compared to their route, so I skipped it.
Maybe it was the sword. Who knows? Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was an item left in Hair or not, but clearly there was, and who knows? Probably was just rupees or whatever.
Yeah, if Hera wasn't the other good crystal, I'd probably go do that, like Pyramid Catfish, just to get out of the way. But with it being good crystal, it just didn't make sense.
We
Yeah.
forgot to check Light World maps, so we didn't know.
Yeah.
And like we all realized we didn't check it, and we were just like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's all dungeons.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much information you actually need. And you can always, I mean, Azure, you don't quick swap, so you actually get to see your menu, and you can see what
Yeah,
pendants
I
and
had that
crystals you
red
have.
crystal. I had that red crystal for forever, and I didn't notice it. So that was a
Alright, so-
really interesting
Okay.
seat, though. I really enjoyed that.
So, game 2 between your teams, I believe Eri is substituting in for.
Me,
for
yeah.
Andy.
Yes.
Okay.
I do have the match here, actually. We have it happening at 1:10 p.m. on Sunday. It'll be Daaanty and Area versus AceZero and Azder once again.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on that upcoming matchup?
Daaanty doesn't have me to carry him on Sunday, so hopefully it goes well.
It's true. Hopefully Ari carries me.
Okay.
But I mean, when we saw the I guess the reveal schedule and saw we were playing these guys first, it's like, well, very tough opponent, especially in co-op. So,
Yeah, I'm not very good at standalone ALTTPR co-op. Like, there's just not enough game to split to go around, I feel.
It could happen that way a lot of times with like linear seeds, but I mean, don't discount yourself too much. You're obviously a really good runner too, and aces as well. So it's like, I don't know. I say it about the invitational every time, but invitationals just always stack. So nothing's ever guaranteed in any way, shape, or form. So
Yeah, I was just wishing that I got matched up with your team at a different week. So, like, Andy always stomps me in co-ops, and
Well, we should have just played SMZ3 because I think you seem to have his number a little bit on that.
not in co-op. That was the problem.
Well, I did read solo, of course.